Hi, everybody. Did any of you watch the debate last night? I'm sure a lot of you got a good kick out of it, and it was so egregious that I didn't know if I wanted to laugh or cry. But I'm not here to talk about the disastrous debate last night. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about a couple of things when it comes to our economy, when it comes to building our country and building the type of country that we want to build. Just imagine if we can find common ground with the Republicans. I know that kind of sounds asinine, right? But think about it. What if we can find common ground with the Republican Party? Are they that much different when they really, if we can get them to really break it down and make these things personal? Are we really that different? What if we told the Republican Party that we want to be fiscally responsible? We're just going to do it. We're just going to go about it a different way. We want to be fiscally responsible when it comes to our economy. We want to be fiscally responsible when it comes to our economy. So what we're going to do going forward, think about this. My Republican friends, I know a lot of you guys out there are voting for Donald Trump. And a lot of you guys out there are voting for Donald Trump because you're just frustrated with American politics. You're frustrated with what we've been seeing, what's been put before us. You're frustrated with corruption and you don't like Hillary Clinton. And guess what? We don't either. We don't like corruption either. You're frustrated with the establishment politician. And guess what? We are too. You're frustrated with what you're seeing going forth, and you just see, you just get to the point where you're voting for Trump out of anger, possibly. I get that. But there is another way. There is another way. What if we told you guys that we don't want to raise your taxes? I know you guys don't want your tax dollars raised. You don't want your tax dollars raised when it comes to paying for things like welfare or the Pentagon. But the good news for you guys is taxes don't pay for federal spending at the federal level. They don't. I know a lot of you guys out there love your guns. And I am for background checks. But guess what? I'm from a red state also. I'm a liberal. I'm a progressive. But guess what? I like guns too. I carry a gun. And we have friends in the blue states that carry a 40 caliber. They like to hunt. So it's not that we're not that far apart if we can just bring it together. And are you guys really for war the way you think you are? Probably not. If you actually sit down for a second and realize that your kid could actually be sent off to war, and your kid could actually die in one of these stupid wars. And I know that you don't agree with that. And when it comes to issues of immigration, I'm sure you don't want 11 million people rounded up and sent back because some of those people are kids, and some of them probably come to your house for dinner with your kids. You guys probably even go out after dinner and throw the football together. So when you think about it in those terms, are we really that different? When you're personalizing the situation, are we really that different? If we told you guys that we can maybe cut corporate taxes instead of raising your taxes and push Congress to spend money on the 99%, I guarantee you guys will probably be for that. But the only way we're going to be able to fight for what I'm talking about, we're going to have to convince people to actually stop thinking that we own an outdated gold standard where our dollar is backed by gold when we have a free floating currency. We don't need your tax dollars to pay for these programs. The government doesn't need your money to spend. So if nothing else, you guys should get behind this thing just to keep your taxes from being raised. Why not? You have nothing to lose. You team up with us, we change the world, period, without exception. And we prevent another recession. Because of the rate we're going right now, where our GDP is below 3.1%, every time our deficits were too small, we ended up with a recession without exception. It happened every single time without exception. Those are the numbers, those are the facts. That's the reality of the situation. It's not about red states and blue states. Who give a damn about a red state or a blue state? We don't care. It's the United States of America. It's time for us to unite. It's time for us to push for the issues that we care about. You guys out there are frustrated when you see Hillary Clinton out there, and trust me, believe me, we are too. But when we may part ways at, we don't think Donald Trump's the answer. Donald Trump is not the answer. Nor is Hillary Clinton, because both of them are up there talking about deficits and debts. Guys, we want to be fiscally responsible too. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to be fiscally responsible by actually spending. Because when you cut deficits, when you're trying to cut the budget, you're pulling money out of the economy. So you're not being fiscally responsible when it comes to the economy. You guys trying to be fiscally responsible when it comes to national debt. That doesn't work. Listen, a national deficit means a private sector surplus. That means that money goes in someone else's hands. That's what that means. That's what it means. Taxes don't fund spending at the federal level. Our dollar isn't pegged. We are the creator of, we are issue of our currency, not the user. We're not the user of our currency. And we don't borrow money from China. Think about this. Hey, China, can I borrow some US dollars from you? Can you imagine that? That wouldn't make much sense now, would it? It wouldn't. So we have to actually, this is our moment. This is our moment to stand together. You guys don't want your taxes raised. We want universal health care. And if I guarantee you, if you thought for a second that maybe we can actually have this, we'll actually having our taxes raised. Maybe I'm not really for war the way I think I am, because you know what? I don't want my kid dying in a stupid war either. And I'm sure we're not that far apart on these issues. But if we band together on these issues, we change the world. Period. Without exception. Without exception. Yes, Janika, you're right. A lot of people are having a hard time voting for these two clowns. But when we band together, when we stand together, man, I don't see how we can go wrong. We can probably come to an agreement where we cut corporate taxes. We can probably come to an agreement where we probably lower the taxes that you're already paying out. But we need pressure on Washington. We need an economic revolution, an economic movement, the likes we've never seen before. We need people pushing, telling Washington that we know that you guys can spend money on us, that our deficits are actually too small, that we don't have a mountain debt problem. We don't have that. Our dollar isn't pegged. We're not pegged to a foreign exchange. We're not pegged to gold. That ended in 1971. We have to continue to do what they said couldn't be done. You see, this is all about divide and conquer. They don't want us. They want to slice and dice us amongst red states and blue states. That's what it's all about. Slice and dice us up. They don't want us to be on the same page. They do not want us to be on the same page. They want us to stay divided. But if we come together, there's nothing we can't achieve, because unity is the power that signed the Civil Rights Bill. Think about that. Listen, slavery ended because a lot of African Americans was tired of slavery, of course, and tired of going through the injustice. But don't think for 1 second that slavery ended just because of a lot of African Americans decided that they didn't want to deal with it no more. There were a lot of white people that were just as fed up with the situation too, that ushered in a new era, a democracy where we treat people like human beings. That's how that got done. A civil rights bill didn't get passed just because of African Americans marching in the Civil Rights Act, during the Civil Rights era. There were a lot of white people that got lynched, that was called, and I quote, nigger lovers. Change is hard, but if we stand together, we at least bring the odds in our favor. That's what it's all about. It's about bringing the odds in our favor. It's hard. And there are going to be a lot of people that disagree with you. There are going to be a lot of people that break away from you because they don't want to be told anything different from what they've been told all their lives. All their lives. You have to be open to change. So what we want, my Republicans friends, we do not want a balanced budget. We want a balanced economy. Think about this. A balanced economy. Now, no one is telling you from that's trying to talk about a balanced budget, they don't have to really raise your taxes, are they? We don't have to raise your taxes to pay for these programs. We don't. So help us fight for these programs. What do you have to lose? You have kids. I know you care about your kids. I know you want your kids having universal health care. I know you want your kids going to college. I know you want free college. I know you want all these things. I know you want these things. But the minute we start promoting these things, they talk about raising taxes. And that's what scares you guys away when it comes to raising taxes. You think that your taxes have to be raised to a significant amount. Or when we talk about gun, well, I'm not going to say when we talk about gun control, there needs to be background checks. But just know that just because we're talking about background checks doesn't mean that we want to take away your guns. I carry a 40 cal, and we have some friends, some liberal friends in the blue states that carry guns too. We're not that much different. We are one America, all standing under the same flag. We are one people, one people. And when we stand together as one people, that's when revolutionary ideas are born. Have a great day, guys. I'm going to leave it there.